So you bought a Fisker Ocean too, huh? Hurts, doesn't it? Let me give you a history lesson that you didn't ask for. A man named Henrik Fisker launched a car company about a decade ago, and it went bankrupt, and it left about 2,700 Fisker Karma owners left in the dark. No support, no updates, just expensive paperweights. 6 years after that flaming wreck, he comes back swinging with the Fisker Ocean, and somehow people lined up to drop $70,000 and $80,000 for round two. Guess what happened? No, seriously, take a wild guess. Guess what happened? Yep, bankrupt again. Only this time, 6,000 Ocean owners are left floating with no life raft, no service, no updates, just a customer support inbox that ghosted the entire internet. And I promise you, in 5 or 6 years, he's going to do it again. He'll launch a new company, build 25,000 cars this time, and people will buy them, and I'll be right here making the same video all over again. This is his house, by the way. So last year, I bought a brick Fisker Ocean for $10,000. Not a typo. It had 375 miles on it. Just 375 miles. It was brand new. $200 in parts later, I got it running, and I've driven it 7,000 miles since, and honestly, it's a pretty fun ride. Very smooth, very quiet. But there's a catch. I am stuck on an illegal software version. Why? Because the NHTSA issued a stop sale until all Oceans upgraded from version 1.0 to at least 2.0 to fix two major issues. Number one, regenerative braking. It's only on one axle. That's right. Only the front wheels were feeding energy back into the battery. That's like trying to stop a shopping cart by grabbing the front wheels only. Unstable, sketchy, dangerous, and the stopping distance increases, and it feels like the back end is trying to race the front. Number two, no brake hold on hills. When you stop on a hill, the Ocean just kind of rolls backwards. It feels like driving a manual with no clutch, and yes, it will kiss the bumper behind you if you're not fast enough. Now, I missed the update window because my car was offline, and wouldn't you know it, Fisker pulled the plug on internet access across the fleet. No LTE, no updates, no fixes ever. So now I'm stuck on version 1.0 forever, pretty much. What can you do? Well, I did what any desperate EV owner does. I clicked on the Fisker Owners of America site, found a couple of mobile techs. Tech 1 said that you're too far, and unless you find 3 more Fiskers near you, it's not worth it. And Tech number 2 said the update is too risky to be a mobile update. If it bricks the car mid-update, you're screwed, and I'm back on a plane, and yet once again, you have a very stylish paperweight. So I made a decision. I am driving 700 miles to the nearest service center. That's $350 there and $350 back for a 2-day software update. Why 2 days? Because if you don't do it slowly in stages, the car can brick during the update. Now, this is my first road trip in the Ocean, so bear with me. I charge it to 336 miles at 4 a.m. Navigation, thinks I'm in Alaska. Cool, very useful. Cruising around at 75 miles an hour, sometimes 65 miles an hour to save power. I'm trying to avoid charging along the way. 4 hours in, no charging. 5 hours, still no charging. 6 hours, nada. 7 hours in, you guessed it, no charging. I actually wish the car had an energy usage graph, but to its credit, the range estimates are highly accurate. But if you do own a Fisker Ocean, and you're looking to get into something new and support a nonprofit working for a cleaner environment, I have the perfect opportunity for you. This year's electric vehicle raffle for the planet from the CCAN Action Fund is better than ever. Here's why. Every ticket gives you not 1, not 2, but 3 chances to win an amazing EV. The grand prize winner gets to pick from 6 luxury EVs, the rugged Rivian R1S SUV, the powerful Rivian R1T truck, which I own, the brand new Lucid Gravity, the sleek Lucid Air, and the bold Porsche Macan EV, or the iconic Porsche Taycan. The second place winner will choose between a Hyundai Ioniq 5 or the Volkswagen ID Buzz. And this year, there's a third prize, the reliable Chevy Equinox EV. Only 10,000 tickets will be sold. The tickets are just $200, and support the CCAN Action Fund's mission to fight for cleaner air and a healthier environment. Even better, the group covers state and federal taxes and tariffs, no problem. They cover that too. Head to www.evraffle.org to grab your ticket. That's evraffle.org, or check out the show notes for 3 shots to win the EV of your dreams. I'm not doing anything. I'm just driving. I'm paying what? What the heck? I'm not doing anything. It's to pay attention to the road.
I am.
I am. I was staring at the road. Like, what's it complaining about?
Pull over. I'm already pulled over.
Yeah, I know. Here's the man, the myth, the legend, the person I've been hearing so much about. Nice to meet you, Joe. How are you today, man?
How are you? Good.
Now, I'm just going to walk in here and pretend like I didn't just mic you up.
No, there's nothing there.
I'm bringing my Fisker to you today because I've heard you're probably one of the only people that could work on these things in this area. And I have a laundry list of things I need taken care of. Are you the guy to come to?
No, you're going to have to go next door.
Okay, thank you very much for your time. I
We'll do
appreciate
that. So, yeah, we started with Fisker Karma, and now that Henrik Fisker decided to go at it again.
Get ready for the drive of your life.
And we're here for the Ocean owners, and so mostly working on both Oceans and Karmas. You know.
And how long have you been working on Karmas for?
I took the first training class in 2011 with the Karma.
So you're a prior Fisker employee?
Yeah, I was the first East Coast dealership in Philadelphia. We delivered the first Karma in late 2011.
Right.
And I was their tech at the time, so yeah.
You know what's funny is that I never was really into these cars at all. And this is the first time I'm actually really getting up close and personal with a Fisker Karma. And I will say, in person, the photos don't do these cars any justice. These are actually very, very, very good looking cars here. Like I'm actually very surprised. Like to the point where I'm almost considering.
Yeah,
one.
you'll have one in 6 months.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably less than that. I might leave with one, honestly.
Yep.
So you also have Oceans too. I don't know if you've been following my Ocean saga.
Yeah.
But it hasn't been a very happy one. Mine was actually mine was actually significantly happier because I didn't really pay a lot of money for mine.
Right.
Mine was like 10 grand. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But there are people that have paid real money for these things.
These there were two of them that paid full price, 70, 80, 90, whatever they paid for it.
Right.
And yeah, they're bricked. They're just sitting here.
So you're going through these to kind of get a better feel for what they need.
Yeah, they've got isolation. This one's got an isolation fault, so it's a high voltage short somewhere.
Right.
We've got to figure it out. And then this one we have figured out, but he's a Chase lawsuit litigant, so he's getting bought back.
Oh, so these are the guys
traded on a Rivian.
These guys are getting Rivians. I gotcha.
Yeah, yep. So they told us to stop the process where we are and leave it alone. I'm like, all
so
right.
that's the question. So wait, so once Chase or whoever takes this car back gives them money for a Rivian, what does Chase do with it?
Send it to the auction, and then the auction calls me and sends it back here to get fixed.
So this will never escape you, this car?
Oh, it will. It'll go to Mannheim, and then it'll come back. And yeah, they already called. They're like, do you guys fix the Fisker Oceans that are I'm like, yeah, send them back.
Okay, so this is where the magic happens. And I'm not going to lie to you, this is probably one of the cleanest shops I've ever been in because my shop is absolutely disgusting. Did you know I was coming today, by the way? I wanted to surprise you.
I did, but I left it a mess just for you.
Yeah, if this is a mess, then you guys are doing pretty good.
We try to keep it cleaner than this. Vehicle control modules, yeah, this is all the processors and electronics, and then we go into the suspension, and we got a lot of parts.
This is mostly for Karma stuff.
All Karma parts.
Do you have any Ocean stuff here?
Not much. No.
Ocean parts are
hard.
Yeah, are a lot easier.
I got the same access you do.
Really?
eBay, and yeah, there's no direct line to anybody for anything for these Oceans. It's been sink or swim, scraping the seeds and the stems off the barrel.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
Well, you got to buy parts Oceans now.
Well, yeah, and I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
people are asking me, oh, are you going to buy them, part them out? I'm like, there's like a half a dozen parts you need.
Right.
It's not
honestly, if you were to get one with an intact windshield, you're doing all right.
Right, you get your money back from the windshield and maybe the hood and the bumpers.
What do the windshields go for now? Like street price?
They're $2,400, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you get one of these for $8, the good windshield,
windshield and the front clip, yeah, you get your money back. But I don't want to sit on a bunch of wrecked cars.
But honestly,
I'll leave that for the scrap yards.
But it'll probably sit for a while until more real people. Okay, I need a new rear drive motor. It's
right. Then when we start to see some, like I can part out a Karma and I can use 70%
literally
of
everything.
Parts. Yeah.
Right.
So
it's like the American Indians.
Yeah.
You consume the whole buffalo. Right.
You're right.
Nails.
Yeah. No, we're gonna have a bunch of unconsumed buffaloes sitting here. So not yet. Not my thing.
My key does not really work. In order to unlock the vehicle, I push the buttons. Nothing happens. I have to press the key against the door handle to enter the vehicle, and then I have to push the key next to the sensor.
Yep. NFC reader. Yeah.
NFC reader to actually have it start. That's number one. Number two, the software version I'm on right now, that's the one that's giving me a lot of grief.
Yeah. 1 dot.
One dot. And if you guys don't know, that's the one that had the stop seal on it. And the reason why I had a stop seal on it is because the regenerative braking was so inconsistent, it can cause an issue. And the same problem I was talking about when we were coming up here was that when you're at a light and you take your foot off the accelerator pedal, or if you're not on the brake, the car will just roll back and it could literally hit the car behind you. So because of that, they issued a stop sale until the cars were upgraded to that version. I've been sneaking by on this version, a legal version, for too long, and I think it's time to get that resolved. Also, I hear there's a issue with the coolant pumps as well.
Yep. So the coolant pump recall.
All right, and what is the coolant pump? What does this coolant pump do? Is it a battery coolant pump? Is it a drive motor coolant pump?
Yeah, so it is a coolant pump for the PTC heater circuit.
Okay.
So it is actually for the electric heater, because it's an electric car, you need electric heat.
Right.
And what that does is circulates the coolant through the heater core, because there's no water pump as an engine to drive the water pump. You need an electric pump to flow that coolant through the heater core and give you your heat inside the cabin. Fortunately, unfortunately, that is all tied into the high voltage network.
Yep.
So being a high voltage cooling system, the heater is operated by the high voltage battery and heats up. So what happens when the pump fails, it takes out a portion of the high voltage network and all the pumps stop working.
Oh.
Typically you'll lose coolant to your motors.
Right.
And everything stops
So it's
flowing.
catastrophic.
Then the car goes into a limp mode because the motors and the inverters overheat
yeah.
because nothing's flowing coolant at that point. So
Right.
it takes the whole network out. And it's rare, I do say. We don't see many of them
Right.
really failing. That was an impending recall
Right.
before they went belly up. But
Right.
so they did send us service providers the coolant pumps free
they
of
did?
charge. Yeah, so
Oh,
we
awesome.
have plenty of those.
Okay.
And we just replaced the pump. We checked the date to make sure it is below a certain build date.
Right.
Every one of them's been pretty much
Pretty good so
unless
far.
it was replaced. That's the only reason to check the date.
Right.
And we replaced the pump, bleed out the system, make sure you got heat, and off you go.
A lot of people are probably going to watch this video and say, you know what, I think it's a good idea to purchase one of these, because honestly, I think it looks like a baby Range Rover. I think it's a very good looking car.
Yeah, I mean,
it's cheap.
It's a cool car. It rides great. It's, you could talking about the $80,000 version or the $20,000 version. So that's when you have to start to factor in, well, for the money, it's a lot of cars.
And then once again, I'm showing off here. I'm in this thing for 10.
Yeah.
And I mean, for 10, you're crazy.
No,
for,
you're right.
for
You can't
10.
go wrong.
So what are some of the immediate things they need to do? Because the issue with these right now is that if someone were to get one of these in, I don't know, Kansas, for example, and they need service, what do they do?
Pray. And it's been that way since with the Karma. I mean,
Right.
if you're in an area where you have service support, you're fine.
Right.
And if you're in the middle of the country where there's nobody,
Yeah.
you're not fine.
Well, I would honestly say most areas don't have service.
Yeah, I mean, the service centers are pretty much major metro areas.
Right.
Up and down the East Coast, we're pretty covered. Carolinas had a little bit of a struggle. Florida's got a couple places. Texas got a couple good guys down there. Ryan at Nuts and Bolts is really good.
Right.
And then out here on the East Coast, and California's got a couple good places. But aside from that,
Other than that.
you're shipping a car, or
Yeah.
ship the car or ship the tech.
But even tech shipping can be proved to be difficult too, because the issue we were talking about before with tech shipping is that since I'm in Boston, I actually called the tech, and he said, well, I'd have to gather up and make sure that there's other cars in the area that need
Make
to
it worthwhile.
make it
Yeah,
worthwhile.
packs of them, yeah.
Because if they're just coming for me, financially,
Costs you a fortune.
it doesn't make much sense. It costs. They'd have to upcharge me a certain amount, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it's
for
not
them to-
sustainable for those guys to do one car here, one car there, be flying all around. We're fortunate in that we have a location here that's been established for a number of years, and
Right.
kind of just fit right in. But there's guys out there traveling, and I know people are like, "Oh, it's so expensive." He's not ripping you off. He's really got to put food on his table.
Well, he has to make a living too.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
it is what it is,
Like people don't realize that, they're trying to help people, but it's not like it's not a charity.
Yeah, it's not.
It's
not.
just like,
Yeah.
they're not sponsored by Fisker. Or
Yeah.
Fisker isn't paying them to do
We
this
offer
stuff.
it, like, time to time if people are desperate, but I'm like, I just tell them, like, look, we need the techs and the tools here, because
Right.
for the people that have been waiting for appointments. So it's
Right.
it's a tough gig. 12-volt battery condition. I mean, it's
Gotcha.
got an original battery in it. Change it by
Okay.
now, because the old software just wreaked havoc on the batteries.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, they were trying to do over-the-air updates. 12-volt system wasn't holding up. when the over-the-air update would show up, it would shut the low voltage support system down, and the car was basically running off the 12-volt battery while the software was going in.
Right.
And it's a tiny battery, you know, it didn't hold up very long. So it really took its toll. And the cars weren't going to sleep in the regular, normal amount of time. They would stay awake for hours sometimes.
Right.
So a lot of that's been resolved through software updates. So the 12-volt health is a lot better now on the 2.2. So yeah, they're the big things you look out for. Other than that, drive it and take the risk.
Okay. So is this the infamous coolant pump?
This is the infamous one.
I gotcha. Okay, so you blocked that one off. I see that there. Block that one up there.
Yep, and then the other hose is actually straight up here.
I see it.
Yeah, and that's blocked off and ready.
That's neat, man.
Yeah.
All right.
That's another known issue.
These high voltage connectors here.
Yep, we're having some issues with those.
Same area as the Tesla Model 3.
Yep, and then we've got this other cable coming off for this is your the PVIU, which controls your solar panel.
Yep, the solar roof.
We had a lot of problems with this high voltage cable here in the early cars, creating isolation faults. The front drive units have gone bad, making some mechanical noises, and a couple of electrical cable problems inside of them.
So
Wires rubbing.
At this point, how do you resolve a front motor issue?
Find another one.
Really?
Yeah, eBay. Yeah, that's where we're at.
What's this? What?
Nice! A wrench.
Ooh, did you drop one?
Wow, that's worth something.
I must have dropped this a long time ago. Maybe a 10.
10? That'd be battery.
You know, there's something else in
A little further back is where
here. Now look at this. You see? See?
$9,950.
Yeah, there's probably some more in here too. I'm gonna listen. You know the honor system. If you find any cash in this thing, you'd be honest with me, all right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thank you. Is he trustworthy? Do you trust him?
Oh yeah.
All right.
Be
Good.
here if he was.
Good. Yeah.
So we've had some cars. This whole entire harness under here on this side
Yeah.
is problematic. Goes to the VSP, and we'll show you the other connectors up here that get water in them.
Yeah.
This one right here is the active grill shutter. We've had at least a half dozen cars come in with no blower fan inside the car, no heat.
Really?
No anything, no airflow. Blower motor's not working. It's on a LIN bus that's tied to coolant pumps and this active grill shutter, which is your damper
The
shutter
little that open and close. Yeah, gotcha.
Allows the car to warm up better in the wintertime.
Yeah.
So this connector takes on water. I'm just going to check here while we're here. Poorly sealed. So, yeah,
All right, so that's a problem area for the car. So that gets corroded because the water gets in there and it gets corroded. How do you prevent that?
So you can just seal it up as best as you can with dielectric grease
Gotcha.
inside the connector to keep the corrosion down.
Yeah.
Tape it up. We use a butyl tape to kind of seal up the outside.
Gotcha.
It's molded tape.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to find these shutter motors with the manufacturer that made them and get replacements, but you know, if it fails to the point where it's got that much water in it, yeah, you just leave it unplugged, tape the connector up, and at least you'll have your heat back working again. Because this will actually take out the drive unit water pumps.
Oh, that cable will.
Oh yeah, if this is wet, what'll happen is your blower fan won't work at all, and then you'll drive the car maybe 3 miles and this thing will start slowing down on you and you'll lose power. And same limp mode you would get if the coolant pump failed, which is your motors are overheating because the pumps aren't working.
Right.
They're all tied to the same LIN network, communication network, as this connector, which was kind of silly, but that's what happens. So if you disconnect this, everything starts working again, you're good to go. We have a few customers driving around with this thing unplugged. So this is your VSP. This is where your sound's coming from.
Yeah.
This body harness here has a couple of the powertrain CAN networks going through it.
Yep.
It goes down to the VSP and across, but this harness was really defective, and this connector here will usually have, depending on how much water you drive
corrosion.
in,
Yeah.
will be filled with water, rusted, green, all kinds of corrosion inside. Yours actually doesn't look too bad.
So as preventive maintenance, do you guys put some dielectric grease in
we
there?
fill it with dielectric grease, make sure they're all clean.
Okay.
And the problem is there's 2 pins in here in the middle that are so small that you can barely see them with your eyes.
Yeah,
they are
they're
tiny,
super thin.
tiny.
Yeah, I can barely see them.
And they're the ones that'll break off, and you can't even see that they're broken off. They break off flush. And what'll happen, so you got to physically count the wires going in and the wires coming out, and then count the pins, and that's when you'll realize there's a couple missing, and they're stuck inside the other end. You can't even see them in there. Those holes are so small.
Right.
So there's 11, I believe it's supposed to be 11 wires, 11 pins in there, males.
So you have to D-pin all of them.
D-pin them all. We either bypass them.
So where do you guys get, let's just say this happens to a customer. Where do you guys get the connectors
So
from?
we'll get a Deutsch connector.
Yep.
And with the round pins and
And
a
make
good
your
weather
own.
pack, and just make our own.
I
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, for the severe cases, but usually 1 or 2 wires, we'll just bypass them, seal it up, and we'll wrap this entire thing with good butyl.
Yep.
And seal it up,
Be good to
and then
go.
we're good to go.
Okay, so this is a final shot of what it looks like now. It's all covered up in butyl. It's all well sealed. You did both of these connectors?
So the connectors are dielectric greased on the inside, reconnected, and then we're taking everything, putting it back together, and then we're actually putting it back in the factory location. So it's not like we're zip tying. We're actually taking the clip hardware off, putting it back on with everything sealed and everything ready to go. So yeah, it's
That's
factory
solid,
and-
man. That looks factory. Nice job, man.
That's what we're shooting for.
So I've been driving Justin Bieber's Chrome Fisker Karma, and yeah, it turns heads. This thing looks like a concept car that somehow escaped into the wild. It's long, it's low, it's wide. It's like a 4-door supercar. It has 22-inch wheels, a massive rear end. It looks like it has a BBL and a front grille that looks like a giant mustache. And I know plenty of women that actually fit this description. And it's in chrome. It's blinding, literally brings sunglasses. Now, the inside, it's tight. 4 bucket seats, but rear leg room, not happening. The seating position is basically laying down. And the steering wheel, it's straight out of a sci-fi prop closet. It's weird, but somehow kind of cool. And after a decade, it actually aged decently well. It still feels futuristic, but here's the catch. It's slow. Even in sport mode, it's slower than a Chevy Silverado in the quarter mile, and that hurts. Still, I kind of love it, but the real question is this. Should I buy it? And what should I swap into it? Should it be a Hellcat, an EV, jet turbine? Let me know in the comments, and we're having a good time, by the way, in the Hellcat minivan, so that video is coming really soon. Oh, and here are reactions from people when I parked it in the hotel parking lot overnight. They actually called the hotel front desk and told me to move the car. The man of the hour. The car is done.
It is done, we think.
As done as it can be, I guess.
Didn't leave yet.
That's very true. I didn't get the bill yet either.
So this was running really old software, the PKC, both drive units, iBooster. There was about 8 or 9 modules that had to be updated.
Really?
And many of them in steps. So 1.x to 2.0 to 2.1 to 2.2. And that's almost every one of them had to go step by step.
Right.
Always have trouble with the PKC, which you can brick the car if you're not careful about it. So, which it will stop responding to the keys, and you're done. Tyler was able to get it to go through, so which was also able to update your keys, the NFC readers.
Right.
We added the other new style key, 2 key cards. Which
Oh,
is
thank
a
you.
Sweet upgrade. So now you have 2 keys.
And it actually locks now.
It
right?
actually locks,
which
yeah,
is
the
which is
car
huge.
locks,
So
unlocks.
in case you didn't know, so we've had this car for about a year or so, and I've been leaving it as it is. I haven't been locking it.
Yeah.
Because honestly, no one
gonna
has
steal
ever
it.
stolen
Right,
an
yeah.
Ocean. No, there's no point.
No, I haven't gotten one yet stolen.
Right.
So no, we've done that. Obviously, we started with the coolant pump and all the other software updates to the ICC, so your screen is completely different now. And your vehicle to load system now works. So if you have the adapter, if you find it in the trunk, you can power land.
Oh, vehicle to load, meaning you
So-
could actually power your house with it.
Yep, you power your house with the car
Really?
now. Yeah, and the rear outlet will now work for regular plug-in extension cords.
So if you're expecting a special level of service with these cars, you're probably not going to get them because, obviously a lot of them are orphans, but there's places like,
Yeah.
my man Joe over here.
Parts availability too.
Parts
People worry
is tough
about
too
parts.
for them. Yeah, exactly.
Other than that, we've been making it work, getting by.
Again, if you're a DIYer and you like tinkering with things and you want an EV, I think this is the one to get, man, honestly.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
mean-
it's hard to beat the price. I know you get a Tesla, but everyone has one of
Yeah,
those.
you're right. It's,
you
if
know?
you want to be different, yeah. And
Yeah.
the ride, I mean, it does ride great. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a good car to take a trip in.
One of the best riding cars I've ever driven, honestly.
Yeah, they are.
And that's, I love the Rivian again and everything, but
yeah, it
I
had
mean,
so much potential. It was, it's a shame what happened with them, but
Yeah.
the car was heading in the right direction. It was a really good product to be. Yeah, you've got some new features, some old features that you didn't know you had that actually work now. But
Right.
yeah, coolant pump's good. Tested your door handles; they're fine. The tension on them—that was the other part of the recall.
oh, right.
The
I
door
think you
handles
have to use a
sticking.
pull,
yeah, 'cause they
right.
would stick, and it would not unlatch the trigger to lock.
Right.
So the door handle, the outer door handle, can actually cause the inner to not work, and then people get trapped in a car type of situation.
Right.
But yours are all fine. There's a tool that we put in here to measure the tension.
Tension,
pulling
yeah.
tension,
I saw that, yeah.
Yep. So yours are all fine, and yeah, everything else is as good as it gets. We checked your front harness connectors, sealed them up, just so you
I saw that.
don't have any issues with that.
Fantastic
and then your
job on
12
that.
volt you did yourself, so that's good to go. Yeah.
No, this is great, man.
Charging, you're just about 315 miles.
That means I can make it home now.
Means you can get out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's,
Getting
okay.
a little tired of looking at you.
Yeah, I figured. I'm trying to pick up on that for sure. Now, Joe over at Evolution Autosports really took care of me, updated my software, fixed the usual problem areas, and if you got a Karma, make sure you call this guy. Now, the ride home, pretty uneventful in a good way, except now I've got features that my Rivian doesn't even have, like this one. The car knows when there's a stoplight and actually tells you when it turns green, and we both know what this feature is for. Thanks to the update, I finally have tire pressure monitors. The range estimator actually makes sense now, and the navigation system, well, it knows I'm not in Alaska anymore. Big win. And yeah, it made it home 350 miles on a single charge, and I used just 95 out of the 106 kilowatt hour battery pack. So I could have squeezed 380 miles out of this thing easily. Not bad for a car I paid 10 grand for, and now it also has vehicle to grid. So I've driven it 7,700 miles, and the only thing I paid for was a preventative coolant pump and a software update. That's it. For 10 grand, not bad at all, and trust me, I will let you know when this thing explodes.